Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Look at that! Takeoff from ground, baby! Man, that is some nice speed right here. This thing is locked. Flying, locked and solid. Look at that. There you go. Some more aerobatics. Man, this is flying like a charm. Look at that, right before your eyes. Beautiful touchdown right here. Assalamu alaikum and greetings. AliShanMao here, and welcome to outdoor maiden flight testing of Eachine Airloader. Today the rain is stopped and it is a perfect window for us to test the Eachine Airloader, the ultra long range FPV aircraft. Why I'm calling it a perfect window is because today is windy, gusty, and strangely the winds are changing directions very often. And I believe this is the perfect opportunity for us to test, because I prefer windy, gusty days to test FPV aircraft or my new RC aircraft. Why? Because this is where you can see their true potential and their true flight performance and how they handle all these winds, gusts, and different kind of weather. Yes, I also feel a bit of drizzle time by time, like little rain shower, but I don't care. Before we fly, let me show you my setup. It is, as usual, my personal practice. I never put in flight controller, FPV system, or anything in FPV or any aircraft that I'm going to test. On the Maiden flight, I fly them totally manual. So let me show you what is my setup right here. Obviously, I have the Radiomaster TX16S radio control set up on SFHSS, and come on over, check it out. In this bay, you will see no flight controller at all. All right. As an ESC that I pulled out from an old Rambler RS. This is a Fly Color 40 amp ESC. And there's an R208SB, 2008SB Futaba receiver, which is working on SFHSS. There's no flight controller in there. As I mentioned, I do not want to test anything with flight controllers on the maiden flight. I like them completely manual, because that's where you will see the real performance of an RC aircraft. And this is really important because you have to fly an FPV aircraft totally manual, tweak, trim the aircraft physically with the connecting rods on the servos and connecting horns, servo horns on all the surfaces. And only when you know that your plane is perfectly trimmed out, flying hands-free, nice and straight, then you go ahead and install the flight controller. So that is that. In here, I am going to install two batteries. These are my few years old, crappy 3300 milliamp 35C 4S batteries. And they fit perfect. They fit really nice. But this is where I feel there is one problem. It's not a problem, but I feel like that. It is really very difficult to balance the CG of Eachine Airloader. For instance, you just want to fly it with one 4S 3300 milliamp. It's almost impossible to balance the CG. With one battery, you have to have a very heavy camera in the nose, and only then CG will balance. Now, as you have seen, these two old 3300 milliamp batteries, 4S, after I put them in, and as you can see, I have to move them all the way forward. Look at that. I have to push them all the way forward so they cannot go any more forward. And still, the CG is slightly tail heavy, for which I have to put my Econ 4K HD camera in the nose. One moment. Which actually is as big as GoPro 6.7, and you can see GoPro 6.7 cameras will fit perfectly. So once we put that in, I love it that there's plenty of space right here, so it's very easy to, you know, set up everything or all kind of big and small batteries in there. Now the batteries are installed. Hatch goes in. And now you can see that the plane is not tail heavy, not nose heavy. It is perfectly balanced. Given that this is a brand new aircraft, I have never flown it, I will keep it perfect balanced CG. Leveled. The motor, if you watch, I have chosen single motor configuration pusher. There's a 2212-9 KB1400 Sunny Sky motor is spinning a 7-inch 3-blade propeller. Alright? Complete manual setup. This is how might be possible the plane will come to you in pusher configuration. No flap servos. Everything is like total stock. And before we fly, of course, let me show you one more thing here. Why I call it complete manual. As you can see, my radio control. Just created a new model right here on the field. Aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. These are inputs and these are mixes. Aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. It's nothing, no expo, no dual rates, nothing. So I can actually fly the plane, trim it out, and only after that we'll go for, you know, flight controller setup. Enough said. I'm sure you are ready to watch. Let's fly it and let's see how this plane performs on this gusty, windy day. I have this idea to try. There are no wheels installed on this. Look at that! Takeoff from ground, baby!
1 minute.
Okay. So far handling the winds very well. You can see the gusts are slapping it. I'm not flying it too fast. Some trimming needed. One moment. I don't know, I believe this is what I'm feeling. I set the CG according to the CG points very well, but it feels like it's very nose heavy. I mean, it's flying like it's very nose heavy. However, one moment, just give me a moment to trim it out. Okay, almost trimmed out properly. Now when I come into the winds, not wings, one moment.
2 minutes.
Okay, right here in the winds. If the plane is right and trimmed out, I can actually leave the sticks and let it fly all by itself. Now coming with the winds and turning into the winds, flying even more slow. Now let me test the gliding capabilities. To be honest, on a pusher motor, having to have two 4S30 300 milliamp batteries, it feels like underpowered.
3 minutes.
Feels like underpowered. Throttle 0, nose slightly down, gliding very well. This is where I can actually stall it, but I don't want to do the stall test today. I want to keep it for some other days. Totally gliding without any throttle, touchdown, and take off again. That was beautiful, man. Slow flying capabilities are pretty nice actually. And rudder response, man, it's just absolutely amazing. It's actually a lot. I thought because of that boxy big fuselage, the rudder will be really less responsive, and that is why the designer actually went with the extra fins on the horizontal stabilizer for extra airflow and better rudder response. But I think if I remove those extra fins, I will still have a lot of rudder response here. Because right now I'm touching the rudder very little. I can tell you, I'm touching the rudder very, very little. Look at the climb rate. That's just single motor there, man. One moment, I'm gonna turn into the wind. And give you a beautiful pass here. I'm flying with really old crappy battery there. And I'm pushing it a lot. But still I didn't hear any beeps. There you go, people. Aerobatics on an FPV plane. That was first, loop. That was my first loop. Went very well. Man, that is some nice speed right here. There you go. Some more aerobatics. Some rolls. And a sharp turn right there. Alright, I want to land and check my battery. See how much battery left. Once again, that's the old battery that is swelling up. But man, this is flying like a charm. Look at that, right before your eyes. I mean, this is completely manual, man. Completely manual. So, complete manual, nothing installed, no flight controller, no stabilization. And normally these kind of winds will really slap the planes a whole lot. That's what I was going to say. And the way plane will just, you know, move, oscillate, and try to roll over unexpectedly. There is no such tendency here. This thing is locked, flying locked and solid. Look at that. Totally locked in its flight. Imagine after installing a flight controller, it will be absolutely beautiful. 7 minutes. Normally that battery would already be crying with other planes, but I'm happy that my choice of Sunny Sky motor and 7-inch 3-blade propeller is really very, very efficient here, people. Man, this is very responsive. I really want to pull more aerobatics on this. Picking up some lifts as well, like a glider. Okay, I'm coming in straight. Going full throttle. Now it pitched its nose slightly up. There is climbing on full throttle, but very little. Not like some planes where on full throttle it wants to pull a loop. Slightly nose pitch up, you have watched right there. Alright, 8 minutes 35 seconds. I'm gonna land the plane now. So we are flying for about 8-9 minutes, so I really cannot control myself. Sorry people, I really cannot control myself. Without any wheels, this thing is taking off from ground. I simply love it, man. I plan to 3D design and print some landing gear for this plane so that, you know, we can taxi properly and land. That will be really beautiful, I can tell you that. BEA, beautiful. Once again, BEA, beautiful, people. Look at that, how beautiful it's flying. And it is absolutely a charmer looker in the skies. Now, yes, talking about battery, how much battery left? Let's check it out quickly. Come on with me. I have 15.2 volts left. Man, this battery has seen about 2.5 years or more, and has done a lot of flights on Rambler RS, and still we flew about 9 minutes. I would say the first time I took off, 1 minute circle landed because camera was overexposed, Mariam couldn't shoot. The second time we took off, we flew for 9 minutes 12 seconds. So the battery still have 15.2 volts. That is, I will say, people, look at this. This is Sunny Sky 2212 KV1400. I have shown you this motor during my setup. It's Sunny Sky 22129-9 KV1402. And the ESC is a stock ESC, which I pulled out from my old Rambler RS. I pulled it out from there. It's Fly Color 40 amp ESC. I can tell you that. Fly Color 40 amp ESC. Propeller is 7x4 3-blade propeller. And this is absolutely a very, very efficient setup. I mean, I flew about 10 minutes and I still have 15.2 volts. That means I can still go take off and do more. So it was the first flight. Now let me talk about my feeling. It is very responsive plane. Why? Because obviously there is no flight controller right here. I am flying totally manual, so it is very, very responsive. And the controls are superb on that. You have to be nice and focused on the sticks when you are flying it manual because there's a lot of response. As I mentioned, on the rudder I felt it would be less responsive, but you know, it is much more responsive. That I'm thinking to remove those fins, but we'll keep them for, you know, for now. And just like one of my French followers says that he wants me to add a vortex generator on these fins to test if the efficiency or performance becomes even better. Well, I would say I would do that for the testing's sake, but it's already very, very responsive. Apart from this, I really don't feel anything wrong with that. I don't feel that you have to use flaps on this plane because when it comes down for landing, it's already nice and slow in control, and you can have some very, very nice landing. Still, if you want to use flaps for some additional features and some additional control, you're most welcome to do that, and I am going to test those as well. Yes, underpowered with 2 batteries here. Let's say if you're going to add even a heavier battery, it is definitely going to be more heavy, and this single motor is underpowered, people. If you want to fly it with 18650 Li-ion battery, 4S3P or bigger batteries with FPV system and everything installed, I will suggest go for twin motor setup, which is my next video, setting it up for twin motor and testing it for flight again with twin motor. I will fly a little bit more and test it a bit more today with single motor setup, and stay tuned for twin motor and 3 motor setup. That's gonna be really amazing. One thing I want you to help me out in the video, please comment what do you feel about this flight. In the video, please comment if you want me to test FPV flight with flight controller installed on a single motor first, or you want me to test without any flight controller, 2 motor and 3 motor configuration, and after that install flight controller. So I'll be waiting for your feedback. Please comment in this video, on this video, and let me know what you want me to do on the next flight. Test FPV or test twin and 3 motor configuration without flight controller and FPV. Alright? So I'll be waiting for your feedback. Stay tuned. Come on, you know what to do. Hit that like button It's right there. I know you can do it. Oh, while you're at it, also hit the subscribe button. Right there. Come on, don't be shy. Just hit it. Thank you very much for all your support towards my work, that I post regular and fresh content on my channel just for you. Hit that like button right there.